Good morning, everyone. Morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in your time. Uh, I'm setting myself up here. So I am Rose from Yoga for All with Rose. Thank you for joining me. Whether you are present here in this live stream or watching this as a replay. This Tuesday, we are going to do a intermediate flow class that is grounding for the summer season that we're living right now. After today's class, I will be taking a little bit of a break from the Tuesday live streams during the summer, but will be returning after a couple weeks off. So today I won't be really using any props. I do have a blanket that I'm going to fold for myself for my hips in the very beginning. But apart from that, I won't be really using any blocks. But if you feel like they are going to support your practice, by all means, use them. And I invite you to truly listen to your body's messages as it is your practice. I am giving you suggestions. If something that I propose does not feel good, please make sure that you honor the messages your body gives you and allow yourself to use options for your practice. And by participating, you do so at your own. I wish we could be sharing space, but at the same time, I'm very grateful for this opportunity to be teaching in this online format. So let's get started. Our class will start on the floor. It's a lower practice today. We do come up, do a little bit of balancing flow, and then we come back to the floor and end in our Shavasana to integrate our practice. So I invite you to have something available, maybe a folded blanket, maybe something similar that you can sit on so that you can comfortably. So my thing is right under my seat so that you can comfortably have your knees a little bit lower than your hips. It does allow our lower back to find its natural curve and supports the idea that we have this wonderful spine that has this possibility to come up to its full expression so that we can really use our lungs deeply. And here we are coming to this moment, your space, your day, and gently I invite you to close your eyes and just observe where you feel the seat connecting to the earth. Feeling that space, maybe sending one inhale there, letting it soften a little bit further into the floor. And then with your mind's eye, start coming up your spine just a little bit, going through the lower back, feeling that natural lower back curve. Coming towards the waistline, feeling the low ribs, the back of your lungs, the back of your ribs, the front of your ribs. Feeling this lovely expansion sideways, softening the heart. And then allowing your shoulders to rest on top of your rib cage, allowing your collarbones open, shoulder blades gently without an effort glide down, allowing there to be space between your shoulders and your ears, tucking the chin down gently, letting the back of the head float energetically up. And here, let's just gently open our eyes. And we're going to move with breath. And Release your hands down. We're going to inhale the arms up, reaching up, expanding the chest sideways. With an exhale, flip the palms up and reach the heels of the hands up. Inhale, reaching up with your left wrist or the palm of the hand, like someone is pulling it up, and come back to center with your inhale. Now push that palm of the hand, right palm of the hand towards the ceiling and bring it down. Inhale, bring your hands to touch together. And with an exhale, gently bend your elbows, touching your thumbs towards the back of your head, wherever it's comfortable. Inhale, really expand the lungs, sideways, front and back. And with an exhale, connect to your center line and reach your fingertips up as you close your ribs and then float your arms down. Let's do that a couple more times, flowing with your breath. Inhaling the arms up, exhaling the heels of the hands up. Now let's go to the right first. So inhale, pushing that right heel of the hand up. Bring it down with an exhale. Left hand reaches up. Coming down. Now inhale, extend the fingers, reaching up. Exhale, bend those elbows. Inhale, fill the lungs, really feel your chest expand. And exhale, knitting in the ribs, reaching fingers away, and then opening the arms. Inhaling up. Exhaling, finding length in your spine. Inhale, left hand reaches up. Exhale, melting down in your shoulder. Inhaling, reaching up. Maybe that right shoulder lifts, that's okay. Coming down. Inhaling, finding length as you connect the hands. Exhaling, softening at the elbows. Inhaling, filling the lungs, also in the back. Exhaling, reaching fingers long and floating the arms down. Last time. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, finding that long expression. Now right hand reaches up. Exhale it down. Left hand. Bring it down. Inhale, reach the fingers long. Exhale, bending at the elbows. Filling your lungs, finding space for your lungs. Exhaling, reaching fingers high and floating those hands down. Lovely. Inhaling your arms sideways. Now reach your fingers behind your lower back. Now there's a couple of options here. Maybe, let me turn this way. Maybe you interlace your fingers and maybe you gently open the chest. Or maybe you hold on to your forearms behind your back and lift up your chest. This is your choice, your practice. What we're trying to clasp the hands in one manner behind your back and then just lifting up the heart, gently releasing the hands, still looking up. Come to your knees and find your cat, seated cat, rounded spine, looking at your navel. Inhaling, opening the heart, opposite cow in a seated form. Exhaling, rounding the spine, moving the spine a little bit. Inhaling, opening the chest, and then come back to center. Inhaling, arms to the side, reaching the arms to your back space, finding a way to clasp your hands, and with an inhale, opening, lifting up the chest. And then with your exhale, round the back, find your seated cat. Inhaling, opening the heart, softening the belly. Exhale, rounding the back. Inhale, opening the heart. And come back to neutral. Okay, let's just gently close our eyes for a moment. I like to rest my hands on my knees. But if it feels comfortable for you, maybe you place one hand on the belly, maybe you place one hand on your chest. Find the option that calls you and just gently observe your breath. Maybe filling your lungs with a little deeper inhale and letting out a sigh through the mouth. And then just feeling if your chest, your torso, if your spine feels a little bit more free after the work we just did. Then gently opening your eyes, and let's make our way to all fours. So I'm going to put my blanket to the side, needing it today. And then find your way to all fours. And we're actually going to do a wide-legged child's pose to begin with. So connect your big toes to touch in your all fours. Open your knees as wide as you wish them to be. I like to have them as wide as my mat. And now we're going to keep our upper body upright as we sink into the hips. So I'm going to walk my hands here. This reminds me of a guard dog pose. But basically, we're going to have this expression of up to the diagonal in our spine so we can really sink to those hips. And from here, we're going to walk to the left side of our mat and then pause for a moment. And if it's inviting to you, walk your hands a little bit further out, and then maybe you rest your floor, your forehead on the floor, or my left side of my head is resting on my left arm. Finding a little side body stretch here, sinking into the opposite right hip, filling the lungs, filling your belly with your inhale. And then with your next inhale, come up a little bit, walking back to the center, using that same diagonal torso. Walk to the other side and walk your hands forward wherever it feels comfortable and inviting for you. Maybe you rest your forehead on the floor. Maybe you rest your head on your arm. Finding an expression of this pose that works for you. Releasing the left hip on the floor. Really with an inhale, inviting the side body and the belly expand, creating space with the breath. And then with your next inhale, letting the air fill your lungs, float your upper body up, and then come to the center. And let's find our way to our all fours. My wrists are under my shoulders, my knees are under my hips. Let's do a dynamic thread the needle. I'm going to turn this way so you can see me a little bit better. I've decided that today everything starts on the left. That's just how it is today. So let's open the left arm towards the sky. Now thread the needle, bring that shoulder down, and as you arrive, you're already going back to the starting point, then lowering down. Let's do one more time. 3 openings. And after that, we rest there for a moment, choosing what to do with the right hand. Maybe it is by your, sort of close to your right shoulder. Maybe it extends overhead. Maybe it's on spider fingers. Maybe it's just resting there. Another option, lovely always, is to wrap that arm around your lower back, whatever feels good to you in your practice today. And then releasing that arm wherever it was, bringing it close to your body, gently pushing into your right hand, opening and bringing that down. Now let's do the right side. I'm turning here. Inhaling, right arm up. Exhale, thread the needle. And as you arrive, you come back and thread the needle. Last third time, opening the chest. Exhaling, find the thread, the needle, and this time we're going to stay there, choosing your adventure with your left hand, whether it stays there to balance you, whether it reaches overhead in the way you wish it to do, whether it reaches around your body. Choosing the variation, maybe you try all three and then decide. It's a short one, but still, wherever your left arm was, bring it close to your, under your shoulder-ish, and then pushing into it. Open and come back to all fours. Lovely. Okay, so I'm doing a little bit of intuitive movement like this. Maybe you take a moment to find a little bit of movement that calls you in this practice. And before we move on, let's do just a couple rounds of cat and cow. So rounding the spine, inhaling, opening the heart, and any intuitive movement that calls you, find it, your practice, your yoga. Rounding the spine. One more heart opening there, and then find your all fours. Very good. Now we're going to extend our left leg back parallel to the floor. And find a very good splayed grasp off the floor with your hands so that you really ground down. And now my heel is the highest point of my foot. I'm going to gently bend my knee. And it's like the top of the sole of my foot is holding the ceiling for me. Now I'm gently going to open my knee to the side and bring it down. So we're turning out the hip, just exploring how it feels to open the knee to the side and bring it down. Hold on to your center line. Be very strong with your core support so that your spine stays happy. We're going to do one more opening and then place that knee down. Now my thighs parallel to the floor. I'm going to inhale, lift up my heart. Exhale, rounding the spine, a variation of cat and cow. Inhaling, reaching. Exhaling, rounding the spine. 2 more times. Inhaling and exhaling. Floating with your breath. Going where your body invites you to go. And then place that foot down. You sway your hips side to side. And we're going to do the other side, extending that right leg parallel to the floor, finding that long parallel position, splaying the fingers, having a very sturdy foundation with your arms, and then bending that knee. My thighs parallel to the floor, and then just opening that thigh to the side, bringing it down. Little bit of work for the hamstrings, for the backside of the body. A little bit of a turnout exploration. If you are a dancer, maybe this would be like you were doing an attitude behind you. And one more time, opening that hip and bring it parallel. Now we find our tiger's tail. So inhaling, lifting up the heart, seeing where that inhale takes you. Exhaling, rounding the spine, knee to the nose. Inhaling. Exhaling. 2 more. Inhaling, opening the heart. Exhaling, rounding the spine, knee to the nose. One last time. And exhaling, rounding the spine. And place that foot down. And let's just make some hip circles or wrist circles, however you want to articulate that in your all fours. Going one way and then reversing your direction. Whew. Very good. Come to your all fours. Find your forearms on the floor and find your forearm plank. Just a brief little moment here. Holding on to your center line, and then gently place your knees down, your belly down, and find your Sphinx pose. Open your feet a little bit wider than hip width apart, and have your elbows right under your shoulders, and gently pushing your pubic bone down to the floor, like you're trying to pull your hands under you. Opening the heart, allowing the shoulders to be down. And now what we're going to do here is just simply bring our chin to the chest. And then it's like we're doing the cat in this position. I'm rounding my spine, lifting up my hips, and come back to your Sphinx. With an exhale, drop your chin, rounding down like I'm trying to peek at my navel. And this time, come up a little bit higher, and then rolling down. Inhaling, opening the heart. Exhale, bring your chin to the chest, and then starting to round. See if you can go a little bit higher, lifting up your body and just having the tops of your feet down. Holding that for a moment, and then placing everything down. Come back to the Sphinx. One last time, the same thing. Chin to the chest, rounding the spine, and coming up. And then rolling all the way down to your belly. Find your crocodile. So hands are stacked on top of each other, forehead on your hands. I like to tuck my my feet, not the right word coming out, my toes under, lift up my knees, and then release my legs down and extend the tops of the feet. So I find a little extra length in my legs. Now from here, let's extend our left arm overhead, however feels comfortable. And our right hand is going to be our leverage, our support. Now with an inhale, gently lift the left side up and place it down. And doing that again. Inhaling, left reaches away, coming down. Inhaling, coming down. And now inhale, reaching far between your fingers and your toes, reaching the arm behind you, maybe bending that foot, and find your variation of bow. So my right hand here is very sturdy to support me. And I'm finding this lovely little bit of chest opener. And with an exhale, gently lower yourself down and bring your heel a little bit closer to your hip. And maybe you sink your forehead down to the floor and find a lovely quad stretch there. Letting go of that foot, floating it down. Come back to crocodile. Take a deep breath to the sides of your lungs. And exhale maybe with a sigh. Extending the right arm. If it's more overhead, if it's more diagonal, that is the choice of your body. Let the left hand support you. Inhaling, reaching up with the right body, right side of your body. Exhale down. Inhaling, finding that single side reach, coming down. 2 more. Inhaling, reaching up, coming down. Last one. Inhaling up. And now I'm going to bend the knee, reach the foot behind me. I'm taking a hold from the outside and gently pushing my foot to my hand as I let my left hand support me very sturdily. Opening the chest with a little bit of a twist. And then bringing that heel towards my seat, letting that whole thigh rest, and bringing my forehead to the floor if it's available to me. Maybe I stay up a little bit. And then after the quad stretch, letting that go, come back to your crocodile. Inhaling, filling the sides of your lungs. Exhaling, softening. Bring your hands under your shoulders, tuck your toes under, come through all fours. I need to move a little bit closer. And then gently hover your knees. Hovering here. Inhale, lift your tail up, find your way to down dog, and then come to your plank pose. Come back to knees, hovering all fours. Lifting up the tail, floating to a plank pose, spread out fingers, and then come to all fours where your knees hover. Inhaling, tail up. Exhaling, plank. Inhale, knees hover. Exhale, find your dog. Inhale, come to your plank. And exhale, hover. So there's totally different patterns for your breath here. We did two opposite ones. Do one that feels good in your practice today. From hovering knees, find your downward facing dog. Come to your plank pose, lovely and strong, and then come back to hovering. Inhale, come to your downward facing dog. Do any housekeeping that feels good to you. And I've built enough heat to need to take out yours. So finding your downward facing dog. Do any housekeeping that calls you. And then very gently, let's find our three-legged dog with the left leg floating up. The long leg floats down. The right leg floats up. And bring it down. Let's come back to the first side. Left leg floats up, and now open that hip, and maybe you even bend at the knee. Extending that leg, closing the hips, and float that leg down. Let's do the other side. Inhaling the leg up, opening the hip, maybe even bending that knee. Extending it, turning it, hips facing down, and bring it down. Inhale, left leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring your knee towards your nose and step to your low lunge. Inhale the arms up. Hold on to opposite elbows, and with an exhale, find a lateral bend to the left. Finding this long body stretch through the right knee to the right elbow. Very good. Turning here so you get a visual. And then exhale, release the arms. Bring your hands to your hips and find your half split. Stay here, or option to sink down all the way. Your practice, your yoga. Bending into the front leg, find your runner's lunge. And from this runner's lunge, we're going to find our Skandasana. So toes facing the corners of the mat. I am walking forward. I'm coming to the right side. Putting my hands, my weight on my hands. Come to the left side. Find your runner's lunge. Step to your plank. Take a deep breath there. And then with an inhale, float your right heel up. Three-legged plank. Push into your hands and find your three-legged dog. And float your foot down. Inhaling, right leg comes up. Exhale, knee towards your nose. Step to your low lunge. Inhale the arms overhead, grasping the elbows if that feels good. Maybe it's forearms. Exhale, finding that lateral bend to the right. Extending the left side of your body. And inhale, come up. Exhale, bring your hands to your hips and find your half split. Maybe it's here, Maybe it's hand on the floor. Maybe it's all the way down. Choose your own adventure. What calls you today? Maybe try all three. Nothing wrong with exploration. From there, I'm bending into my front knee. I find my runner's lunge. I'm opening so that my toes are to the corners. Find my Skandasana. And then walk to the left. And let this be a little bit of a dynamic reach. Walking to the right. And make your way back to your runner's lunge. Step to your plank. Inhaling and exhaling, supporting yourself. Wild, sturdy, and wonderful. Inhale, lift up your right heel. And exhale, find your three-legged dog. Float that foot down. Inhaling, left leg up. Exhale, step to your high lunge. Reaching the arms overhead. I'm going to be out of the picture here, so I got to move back. Inhaling, reaching the arms overhead. And now just gently hug yourself. Now my left elbow is under my right. And I'm hugging. Maybe bending that back knee a little bit. Shifting weight forward. Find your warrior three with hugging arms. Gently hover your way back to a diagonal body with your arms along your body. Inhale, shift your weight forward and find your warrior three with long and floating down. Inhale the arms up, connecting at the top. Pull down your center line, framing that foot. Step legged dog and float the leg down. Inhaling the heel up. Exhale, step forward. High lunge. Adjusting what needs to be adjusted and find your hugging arms. My right arm is under my left. I let you explore where you wish to be. Maybe bending that back knee a little. And from there, inhale, shifting your weight forward, finding your warrior three with hugging arms. And then floating the back foot down, releasing the hands, finding the hovering here. Diagonal spine. Inhaling, shifting forward, reaching forward with long arms. Warrior three. And let your next exhale float you down. Inhaling the arms up, hands connect at the top, gently pulling down the center line. Frame your foot. Step to three-legged dog. And float your heel down. Now very gently, start walking with baby steps, your feet to meet your hands. Coming to your forward fold. Bending the knees if that feels better. And let's hold on to those elbows a little bit. Maybe swaying side to side. Maybe bending one knee, extending it. Bending the other knee, extending it. Just really that ragdoll fold, letting go of everything you're able to let go of. And then if you were holding your elbows, let go of your elbows as well. Inhale, halfway lift, connect your hands to your shins. Exhale, come down. Let's come back to the halfway lift. Now keep going, tracing your legs with your hands and come up all the way to standing. Inhale your arms up and bring your hands to heart center. Taking a deep breath in. Taking a deep breath out. Lovely. Okay, let's do a little bit of balancing work here. So I'm moving my orientation so you can hopefully see my whole body up. Sorry guys, I need to refigure this one out. So here we are. And actually we're going to do left side first. Well, I'll just move around here on my mat. Mat is just a suggestion in the end of the day. Find your mountain pose. Maybe you lift up your toes, connecting to your pelvic floor, lifting up your lower belly. That's lovely long spine we talked about in the very beginning of the class. That is there. All the space we've created for the lungs, for everything exists. Shift your weight to your left foot and lift your right knee up wherever it wants to come. Inhaling, and then with an exhale, if it's available to you, gently interlace your fingers and pull your knee towards yourself. It could be also under your knee. Now let your left hand be on your leg and open the right side, right arm to the side. Come back to center. And wherever you were, I invite you to try to bring your heel as close to your hamstring as possible, opening the knee to the side and find your tree pose. Hands on the heart, finding your tree pose. Gently squeezing your hands together, pushing your one hand to the other. Bring your knee parallel, lifting it up again, and step behind you and find warrior two. Pulling the navel in and up, opening the shoulders, breathing deeply. And explore what you wish to do with the back foot. Is your heel a little bit further out than your toes? Are you directly opening to the side? This is your yoga. Explore where your warrior two is today. Then inhale, straighten the arm, bring your hands behind you. And again, we're going to clasp the hands behind our back. We're going to find a triangle that doesn't have a top register. Just focusing on the direction of the upper body. Finding your triangle, opening the chest, finding that twist toward the sky. Pushing into those big toes, connecting to the core. Release the arms and find your extended side angle. Oh, finding that lovely deep expression off the side. Maybe you look down, maybe you look up. Do a little bit of exploration if you wish. And then come back to your warrior two. Now in your warrior two, look at your back hand, scoop it and come down to your runner's lunge. Shift your weight forward and find your standing split. If you wish to play with the foot, do so. Maybe doing some circles, maybe pointing and flexing it. And then gently bending both knees, bring the right foot down to meet the other in a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, come all the way up, sweeping the arms overhead. Bring your hands to heart center. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Totally all over the place here today. That's okay. At the top of your mat, find your mountain pose. Shifting your weight to the right, lifting your left knee. Float it up. Just sense, feel whatever is present, where your balance is in this moment. Interlacing the fingers, finding that lifted expression of the knee to the chest. Right hand supports the knee. Left hand opens to the side for a twist. Come back to center. Try to bring your heel as close to your inner thigh as possible, and then place your tree down, finding a moment of sturdiness, of lovely groundedness. If it wobbles, yay. That's okay. Movement is life. Turn your foot parallel, lifting up that knee again. Take a big step behind you and open to warrior two. In your warrior two, feel your belly pull in and up, really opening, reaching up with your fingers, straightening the front knee. Hold on to the elbows or forearms behind your back, and we're finding our triangle in this pose. Triangle without arms. I'm turning here, pulling the navel in and up, reaching to the right side, opening the left shoulder towards the sky, pushing into those big toe ball mounts. And with your next inhale, melting to that front knee and find extended side angle that serves you today. Maybe opening the chest, maybe looking down, kind of working your way into the pose. From there, come back to warrior two. Look at your back hand, scoop it and make your way to runner's lunge. And from your runner's lunge, shift your weight forward and find your standing split. If you wish to play with the foot that is up, you can always do ankle rolls, or just point and flex, or stay still. Bending both knees, bringing the left foot down, make your way to forward fold. And in your forward fold, this is quite ridiculous how I'm moving here, but thank you for bearing with me. Opening your toes, heel toeing your feet so that your toes are where they need to be basically for your malasana. As this is an intermediate class, you've been here before. Find the feet that serve you in malasana. Gently pull up your lower leg and then sit down, finding your malasana. Elbows gently opening. Hands might be in front of your heart. Sinking deep into the hips. And from there, gently place your hands on the floor. And I'm going to move a little bit so you can see me a little better. Let's do a little crow play. This is really for your pleasure, if you will. Hands, I like to have my hands a little bit wider than my shoulders, and I already have wide shoulders. Splaying those fingers, maybe lifting the tail up. And there's the variation with extended arms or the bent arms. See where you wish to be today. I think I'm going to go for the bent arm variation. So I'm starting here. I'm coming up to my tippy toes, trying to hug my kneecaps into my armpits. And then gently shifting my weight forward. I'm on the tops of my toes, really connecting to the earth, looking a little bit ahead. Pulling up the navel, pulling up the pelvic floor, and maybe those toes float up. And then coming down. Take a moment, and then come to all fours. Step your hands to the corners of the mat, and find your puppy pose, melting your heart down. Maybe placing your forehead down, opening those shoulders. Softening. And from your puppy pose, gently come back to the Sphinx we did in the very beginning of the class, opening those legs and finding that Sphinx expression. And if you feel like there's a little bit more availability, maybe you find your seal. Being kind to the back of your very neck, dropping your chin towards the chest, and then lowering yourself all the way down. And let's extend the left hand. Now I'm going to twirl here on my mat again. Let's extend the left hand to the side. It might be a cactus arm. It might be a straight line. I like to use a little bit the diagonal, not directly to the side, but a little bit towards that up corner. Right hand under your shoulder, pushing into the right hand. Find that left side body, maybe resting your ear on the floor, and kind of work your arm a little bit. See where you wish to open it. And I'm keeping my feet very much together so that I'm kind of bringing my big toes to touch as well as my heels to touch. This variation is a little bit more active. We also have the option of bending both legs, but since we're not staying here so long, I invite you to really feel the feet together, connecting to your center line, engaging the core, opening the left chest. And then come to your belly, extending the right arm to the side. Maybe it's the cactus arm, maybe it's a little bit extended. Find the variation that speaks to you in this moment. And then bringing that left hand under the shoulder, I'm going to push my way onto the right side, maybe lowering my ear down, staying connected with my feet. Wiggling the arm, finding the place that feels the best. Remember, if something doesn't feel right, you are welcome to explore where that nicer place could be. Inhaling, staying connected to your center line, opening the right chest. And then gently lower yourself to your belly. And from there, we are just going to flip to our back. And today, before we finish our class, I really wish to do banana pose. It's a lovely, calming side body opener. So let's just start. I'm trying to find out what would be the best orientation for you to see me if you've never done this before. Let's try this way. So my feet are folded, toes are on the floor, heels are on the floor, feeling sturdy here. Now I'm going to gently lift my hips up and I'm going to move them to the right just a little bit. I'm going to do it this way around. So my hips, I move to the right, and now I'm going to extend my legs to the left corner of my mat, maybe hooking the feet. If this is already plenty for you, stay here. If you wish to find a little bit more, reach your arms overhead. Maybe the left hand pulls the left hand. Left hand pulls the right wrist. Or maybe you hold onto your elbows and you pull your right elbow to the left side of the mat. So we are flat as a pancake on the floor. Opening the right side of your body. Softening the shoulders, softening the back of the head, having this lovely, very, very full stretch to the whole right side of your body. And then taking a couple more breaths here. Very gently bend your knees and find your feet back to where you started. And then release your top part, letting go, and just take a moment to notice. Then gently push your hips up a little bit. Lift them to the left, extending your legs to the right corner of your mat. Maybe hooking the feet, reaching arms overhead, maybe holding on to the elbows. Maybe the right pulls the left wrist while I reach my upper body to the right as well. That's optional. Finding that flat expression of you in this banana pose. Gently pulling with your hand if that's something you are doing, so that the side body can open a little bit deeper. Softening yourself into this pose. Having a long side body. Opening the body. And then taking a couple more breaths there, opening a little further. We're going to unravel the pose by gently bending our knees. And then returning the top register where it needs to be. And let's just float our knees up to the chest. Maybe rocking side to side. If it feels inviting to you, you can always find little circles. Reversing the circles if that feels good. And from there, stay with your left knee, extending the right leg long. Switching the right hand on your knee, and just like we did before, standing and balancing, we're going to open the left hand to the side and gently pull your knee across the chest and find your supine twist here. So my left hip comes off the floor and I open my chest. A little bit of a twist for our spine. Always grounding, always soothing, always very restorative and great for our digestion. And then gently come up with your knee towards the chest. Place it down and bend your right knee to the chest and extend the left. Finding that two-way pull. Then opening the right arm to the side, left hand on the right knee, and we're going to find the supine twist on the other side. Maybe your gaze stays to the sky, maybe you open it towards the right, or maybe you look to the left. Finding this supine twist that serves you today. Wringing the spine a little bit, allowing it this movement pathway or this pose that we very rarely do in our day. And from there, taking a couple more deep breaths in, floating that leg back up, maybe giving it one more squeeze, and then place that foot down and fold the other one as well. And now let's just find our way to a short happy baby. So bring your knees to your chest, opening your feet like they were supporting the ceiling. Maybe your peace fingers take a hold of your big toes. Maybe you hold on to your ankle, your shin, whatever is available. Gently pulling your knees open. Finding a long spine on the floor, soft shoulders, soft neck, very heavy back of the head. And if it invites you, maybe you extend one leg and then bring it back in. Extending the other leg, bring it back in. Maybe you extend both of them. And then come back and bring your toes, your soles of the feet to touch and find your supine butterfly. And just give yourself another hug. Just like we did earlier, opening your hips, hugging yourself. And with your inhale, really let your shoulders expand, your chest expand. Maybe you even lift the shoulders a little bit, and then with an exhale, softening. Let's extend the arms to the sky and wrap them the other way around. Giving yourself a little bit of a grounding hug. Inhaling, filling the lungs. Maybe the shoulders come up just a little bit. Exhaling, softening. Let's do that one more time. Inhaling, filling the lungs as much as you can. Exhaling and softening. And with that exhale, extend those arms and bring them by your side. Bring your knees to the chest. Knees to face the ceiling, feet on the floor. Let's just do a couple windshield wipers before we settle in our final resting pose in our Shavasana. Windshield wiper side to side. And then come to the place where you are comfortable. And before I extend my legs, I want to invite you to open your feet a little wider and let your knees drop in. Maybe today is the day to try a little bit of a constructed rest for your Shavasana. So this is one option to finish our class, to integrate our practice. If that calls you, I invite you to stay here for our Shavasana. If you wish to go for the more traditional expression of Shavasana, by all means, extend those legs. Also, if you know that you would prefer to have something, a bolster, a rolled up blanket, or something under your knees, you might roll to your side and reach for that. And then arrive to your stillness. And our bodily stillness is never a true non-motion. I invite you to observe the breath floating in through your nostrils, through your throat, to your lungs, and softening as you exhale through your nostrils. This gentle expansion and release is the movement that is always present in our bodies, whether fast or slow. Now I invite you to make any bodily adjustments that you wish to feel just a little bit more comfortable. Maybe you adjust your clothes, maybe you adjust your hair, and then come to a place where you can just be without doing anything, without holding anything. Just find softness and heaviness against the floor. Letting your inhales be wonderful and exhales be soft and equally wonderful. Closing your eyes if you haven't done so already. And as we settle in, just gently go through a quick body scan starting at your feet, relaxing your feet further, your heels, your shins, your knees, back and front, your upper thighs, your thighs, coming to your hips, softening your lower back, softening your belly, your abdominals. No need to hold any tension there. Softening your ribs, feeling the floor under your upper body, your shoulders, your upper arm, your elbows, lower arm, and hands. Softening your neck, the back of your neck, and the front of your throat. Feeling this place, the space at the back of your head that connects to the floor, and letting that be extra soft. Releasing any tension in your scalp, releasing your face, releasing the backs of your eyes, and releasing your jaw. Maybe opening your mouth just a little. And then let's spend a moment in silence. And then I'll bring you back from the Shavasana. And today I invite you to stay here if you wish to do so, as long as you need. And if you are ready to move on, I invite you to find a little bit of movement in your fingers, in your toes, finding any movement that feels good, waking up your body from this brief rest. And then when you feel ready, bending one knee, letting that foot help you find your fetal pose. Taking a deep breath of gratitude in this lovely, life-giving fetal pose. And when you feel ready, letting your hands bring you up, assist you up to a comfortable seated pose, whether that is with sitting on your knees or finding easy seated pose, crisscross applesauce, however you wish to call it. And let's bring our hands to our heart center. Connect your thumbs to your heart. Bring your head, your gaze down. I invite you to open or close your eyes, whatever calls you. Taking a deep breath in one more time, filling up those lungs that we have worked on so much. Exhaling, softening. Thanking yourself for taking this time to do this practice, to honor your body, spirit, and mind. And I thank you for allowing me to guide you through this practice today. I hope this intermediate flow grounded you, challenged you, but ultimately brought calmness to your heart and mind. Thank you so much. Be well, and I invite you to shine your light to the rest of the world. Thank you.